child's pose because it's a lovely stretch for the whole posterior chain of the body. So we're going to come down, heels, bum on the heels. Going to walk the arms out in front and soften the body down towards the floor. Now you can have the knees together. You can have the knees as wide as the mat, probably more preferable for me. And come all the way down and just lengthen out. And then once you get as long as is comfortable, just soften the elbow. So we won't have this as an active pressing stretch tonight, just as something nice and soft. And then close down your eyes and turn your awareness inside. And so just taking a few breaths here to begin to decompress from your day. A few deep breaths to draw yourself a little bit more mindfully into your body. And so in the spirit of that, just doing a little scan through your physical self. Just notice any areas that could do with a little attention. Any places that are tight or stiff. Any areas of the body that are injured. Making sure that you really respect that. Look after those. And then with your eyes closed down, just have a little feel inside. Check out your energy levels. Become aware of any thoughts or emotions that are really present for you. And then when we come into this kind of yoga stretch space, we want to see if we can take a step back. So no matter what thoughts or emotions are bubbling to the surface, we can observe them without getting involved with them. So we can notice our thoughts, that's interesting. Can notice any emotions, interesting, but not chase them down and not get caught up in the drama. And so really just beginning to take a passive role. And just a couple more breaths here. It's a really lovely grounding pose. So notice everywhere that you make contact with the floor. And just see if you can get a little heavier in those places. Just another couple of breaths. And then take a big inhale, lengthen everything out. On the exhale, slowly roll on up. Nice. Take your hands behind you. You might lift up the bum and just take the tail under. And just float the knees off. So just stretching out the tops of the feet. I have to watch my shoulders. I have a tendency to hike the shoulders here. So if that's you as well, just slide those shoulders down and back. Lovely. And then slowly bring the knees back down. And we're going to start standing today. So come on up. Yeah, nice. We're going to take ourselves a little wide on the mat. So feet wider than the hips. Want to turn the toes forward and kick the heels out. And to start with, just take the hands onto the waist. Take an inhale, lift up the shoulders, and on the exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, down and back. And just one more like that, in. And then out. Slide your left hand down, lift your right arm up and take a little lean over towards the left side. You feel the side body stretching out. And then take an inhale, come up and just straight over to the other side. Exhale. Natural stretch. So good. Beautiful. And then come on up. Take the hands to the hips and draw the shoulders back behind you. And as you do that, lift the heart up towards the inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to begin to fold it forward. So coming just halfway to a flat back, take a little micro bend into the knees. And then take your hands down the back of the legs and allow your body to fold. Nice. So generous bend in the knees here. We're going to take our hands onto the floor. We're going to pivot the toes so that they face into the corners of the mat. I'm just going to slowly shift the weight from side to side. So bending into one knee and then the other. So getting a good stretch down the inner seam of the leg. Big stretch. Just gently rocking the weight. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, turn the toes in once again and take your left hand underneath your heart and lift your right arm up to the sky. And then see if you can square your hips. So often when we lift the arm up, the hips follow. I want to see if we can drop the hips down, just lift the arm. And scoop the belly, pull the belly in towards the backbone so that the back is nice and safe. And then slowly bring the right hand down and sweep the left arm high. Once again, balance out the hips, keep them square. Eyes towards the sky. Nice. Bring the hands back to the floor and up onto the fingertips. Walk the hands out in front and just pop up onto your toes. So the weight, we can sort of sway back and forwards. Just stretching out the feet. And then drop the heels down and lift the toes off. So weight into the heels, pressing back with the fingers. Yeah, it's a big stretch, this one, with the heels down and the toes up. Fantastic. And then walk the feet in till they're about just a little wider than the hips. We're going to drop our tail down. So for some of you, coming all the way down here is going to be quite tough. Maybe you can walk your feet to face forward. Maybe you can't. But what you can do is to grab a towel or a blanket and just pop that in behind you. And then heels can go up onto that blanket or towel, and that's going to lift a little of the pressure out. You're going to take the hands to prayer in front of your heart and just send the elbows on the inside of the thighs and gently press them wide. So yogi squat or malasana. And we want to think about getting heavy through the tail and then lifting up through the crown. Now for a lot of people this is really uncomfortable, so if you're thinking there's no way all that can be going on, then just do your best. And if doing your best means coming out of it and sitting in crossed legs, then do that. Beautiful. Great one for the hips, especially if you've been sitting all day. And just a couple more breaths here. You go to Asian countries and you see people, old ladies sitting on the side of the street just chatting away in these fantastic squats, just so envious of their hips and their knees. such good shape. All right, let's bring the hands down, straighten the legs, just walk the feet in together, and soften the knees, and just vertebra by vertebra, we're going to come all the way up. Nice, shoulders down and back. And just notice how you feel. So we've really stretched out the back side of the body. Let's do a little bit more for the hips. So if you've got sensitive knees, a little towel or blanket underneath your knees is good. If you're on carpet, you probably don't need that. We're going to take our right leg forward, and we're going to take our hands either side of that front foot. So to begin with, just a little bit of rocking back and forward, just taking it nice and slowly. We're not forcing anything. We're just feeling it out, getting a sense of how the body feels. And then we'll sink the hips. And we're going to take our left hand to the floor. I got a bit of a wrist issue going on at the moment, so I'm making a fist. But if you wanted to put your hand flat to the floor, that would be great. You're going to sweep your right arm up. And then on the exhale, you're going to wrap that hand around and back. We're going to do that again. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, wrap it round and back for 2. Inhale, forward and up. And round and back for 3. Nice for the shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. We're following the fingertips with the eyes. So there's a little more rotation for the spine. And that's 5. Beautiful. Let's sweep that arm up again. And this time just fingers to the sky and look up towards that hand. And you might even be able to take that hand behind you. Really shine the chest towards the sky. Now let's bring that hand down. I'm going to draw the hips back, toes up towards you. So peeling the foot back. You're going to inhale nice and long through the spine. On the exhale, melt the forehead towards the shin. Big one for the hamstrings. Inhale up. Exhale, melt it down. Inhale up. It's always nice to do this one on yoga blocks to bring the floor a little bit closer. If you don't have yoga blocks, then books can be good too. Exhale down, or even cushions under the hands. Inhale. And then exhale, melt down. And then we're going to point the toe, send the toes to the floor and stretch out the front of the foot. So toes come all the way to the floor. We're still going to fold over that leg. And it's kind of tempting to kick the right hip out, but I want you to draw the right hip back. See if you can bring the right and the left hip in line. It's a lovely stretch for the top of the foot as well as the hamstring, of course. All right, and then we're going to take it back. So we're going to come to sit on our left heel. You're going to pull the toes back towards you. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward. And reach the crown of the head long. And if yours doesn't quite look like this, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to sit all the way back if that's not working for your body. Just another breath here. And then we'll come up. You're going to bring yourself to sit on the floor. And we're going to take that leg out to the side. So I probably don't need the blanket now. So take a deep breath in. On the exhale, folding forward. See if you can come down evenly. So if you've got one elbow on the floor, try to get the other one down as well. And keep reaching the crown of the head long. So it's a little bit deeper now that we've come off the foot. We're a bit closer to the ground. It's a bit stronger. And then come on up. Take your peace fingers around your big toe if you can. If you can't, just grab a hold of the calf. And we're going to see if we can bring that elbow down on the inside and lift the top arm overhead. So maybe you can grab the foot, doesn't matter if you can't. So we've got a lateral stretch. There's a great stretch going on in my QL. So that's on the muscle on the side of the spine. Another breath. And slowly come on up. Lovely. Take your right hand behind you. And we're going to lift up. Press the toes to the floor and press the hips high. And then come back down. In fact, let's sweep it around and then come back up. Flash dance asana. I don't know what it's really called, but that's what I call it. And then up. Hips forward. Let's do 2 more like that. And up. And 1 more. And up. Beautiful. Come on down. Sweep the legs around to face the front. A little cramp going on the toes. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, reach the arms forward as far as you go. And then let the hands fall and let the body come down. Full forward fold. Paschimottanasana. Nice stretch on the lower back. Now, if the hamstrings are really tight, you can always just take a little bend in the knees or slide a towel under those knees. But if you're enjoying the hamstring stretch, the knees go down flat. There's a lot going on in this pose, so we stretch all the way down the back of the legs. We lengthen the glutes. We lengthen the lower back. And then if the arms are reaching, you might feel a stretch in the armpits, and maybe into the pecs and also into the thoracic spine. So behind the shoulders. Nice. There's 1 more breath here. And then slowly roll up. And then let's take all that to the other side. So we're taking our left leg out in front. And we'll take our hands either side of that foot. So we're framing the foot, and we're just going to begin just gently rocking the hips forward and back. Enjoying how that feels. And then come all the way forward. Take your right hand to the floor and sweep your left arm up and around and follow the fingers with the eyes. Inhale. Exhale, take it around. That's 2. In. And out. That's 3. In. And out. 4. Last one. In. And out. That's 5. And then sweep the arm up. Spread the fingers wide. Look up. Drop the hips. And maybe see if you can peel the top shoulder open a little more. Keep sinking the hips. 1 more. And then bring that hand down. Pull the hips back. And once again, if you want a little something under the hands, then find that. And inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, take a fold for 1. Inhale, snake the spine up. So head comes up last. Exhale, head comes down last. That's 2. In. And out. That's 3. In. And out. 4. In. And out. 5. You're going to hold here. We're going to point the toe so the toes come all the way to the floor. So we're really lengthening out the top of the foot now. The hamstring, of course, is still getting a great stretch. Active with the muscles of the feet. And they are often an area of the body that gets neglected, but very much worked hard. We jam our feet in shoes. Beautiful. And then we're going to take it back. So we're going to come back to sit on that heel, and you're going to pull the toes back towards you. So long leg, up nice and tall, and again, begin to fold forward. So we want to see if we can come down equally on both sides. So dropping both elbows towards the floor, reaching the crown of the head long. Nice. And then we're going to come off our foot and onto the floor. And you're going to open that leg out to the side. So you're going to take the peace fingers around the big toe and maybe drop the elbow down on the inside. And then lift the arm up and over until we're coming into some lateral flexion. Nice, even, deep breath. One more breath here. And we'll windmill up. You're going to take your left hand behind you and sweep your right arm up. Find that back bend. And then come down to the floor and sweep around, little spinal twist. Hand comes back around behind. And we'll lift up, press the hips forward. And then again, sweep it around. Nice. Again, lift up. And then sweep it around. And let's do one more like that. Lift up. And then slowly down. Nice. Let's bring the legs around to the front. Bend up the knees. And take the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. So sitting up nice and tall. Massaging the feet open like the pages of a book. So really turning open through the hips. And by turning our feet out, we look after our knees. So take a big breath in. And the exhale, fold it forward. You can gently press the elbows into the calves. Open things up just a little more. Lovely. And then come on up. So let's come down onto our belly. This one do a bit of a spinal twist here. So we're going to come all the way down. You're going to take your right arm out to a T and your right cheek to the mat. And then you're going to roll yourself onto your right side. So for some of you, you might like to bend up the left knee. I like to prop my other foot up to keep it comfy, but that might not feel good for you. So you can bend up the leg. If you're really flexible, you can bend up both knees towards the sky. That's a really strong one. Or you can have both legs long and just enjoy this stretch into the front of the shoulder. So it should be a stretch for the neck as well. And so you want to feel that getting long through the neck. And there is an option if you like to take a peace fingers around the big toe and gently draw that leg in towards you. But that might not be you. Nice. And then release it. And then come back onto your belly. Left arm out. Left cheek down. And we're going to roll onto our left side. So again, choosing your options as far as what you want to do with the legs. Really thinking about getting long through the neck. Big spinal twist. Nice shoulder opener. If you did so on the other side, even it out. Peace finger the big toe and draw that leg in. And release it down. And come up. And let's take ourselves into pigeon pose. So we'll take our right foot towards the front of the mat, and we'll wiggle that right foot over to the left side, and then we're going to gently drop the knee to the floor. So I do these most classes because it's such a great stretch, but not everybody loves it. So this is another option, 90-90, where we've got our front leg at 90 degrees, the back leg at 90 degrees, and we'll fold forward from there, and you're going to get a great stretch in your bum. Full pigeon is we come forward, and we're trying not to hang out on our right glute. We want to try to bring ourselves into the center of the stretch. And if either of those two options aren't working for you, then this is the other option. So you're going to take the right foot across, you're going to gently draw it in towards you. So choose whichever option speaks to you. And then you want to flex the foot, and it doesn't matter what posture you've chosen, you're going to flex that front foot, and that's going to help to keep the right knee safe. And so you might be down on your forearms, you might be all the way to the floor, you might be up onto your hands, and wherever you're at is okay. So as long as you're getting a good stretch in that right glute. And so what you want to think about is trying to relax all the unnecessary muscles. So I mentioned earlier we often engage our shoulders unnecessarily when we're in a posture. So we want to relax those. And any other areas that you know that you hold tension. So lots of people hold tension in their jaw, neck, shoulders. Maybe belly is another one. If you're someone that carries a lot of stress, a lot of people place that in their belly. So maybe taking your awareness to the belly and just seeing if you can soften that. So no one is looking. It's a nice time just to let the belly be round and full. So good. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then come on up. And we will take that to the other side. So, just take a moment to feel the difference. Gosh, my right side feels so much better. Okay, left side. Left foot comes forward, hands come down, and toe and heel that foot over to your right side. And I am aware, I think that the camera flips my image, but trust me, it's my left leg in front. And then you're going to walk that right leg back, or take your 90-90 option, or take your number 4 stretch lying on your back. So whichever one you did, you want to keep it even and do the same thing on the other side. And then just see if you can melt into it. You want to flex the toes on that left side. You want to relax anything that you're holding on to, any tension. And so we really see if we can deepen our breath. Our stretchers, our yoga beginners, we're really trying to take ourselves into the parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest. And one of the best ways that we can get there is just to lengthen our exhalation. So if you just take your awareness to the breath and see if you can, maybe you want to count it, or maybe you just get a feel. But see if you can exhale for a little longer than you inhale. Just really stretch out that out breath. And so in yoga, we call this breath ujjayi. And it sort of has an oceanic kind of sound. So if you imagine when you're about to, on your glasses, to clean them, that little constriction in the back of the throat, like when we whisper, is what we're looking for. So you begin to run the breath just over the back of the throat, so it becomes audible on both the inhale and the exhale. Now, people often find it really easy to find the sound on the out-breath and not so much on the in-breath. Doesn't matter. The out-breath is probably the more important one here anyway. So we just want to find that little contraction in the back of the throat. And really lengthen out that out-breath. Nice. All right, so come on out. So our final pose for our practice today is going to be legs up in the air. Now, if you're close to a wall, that's the best. Legs up the wall is fantastic. And if you're close to a wall, you're just going to shimmy up beside it. And then you're going to swing the legs up. And you're going to lie flat to the floor like this. So the feet can rest on the wall. And now you get all these fabulous benefits of the inversion, of the blood flowing, of this really great sense of relaxation without having to do anything to hold the legs up. So that's why this is my favourite. But if you don't have a wall close by, or your walls are all covered, then you're going to take your blanket or your towel and you're just going to stick it underneath your bum. So you're going to slide it underneath your sacrum and you send your legs to the sky. And this is still pretty easy to hold the legs up. It's just not quite as relaxing as when you can just rest them against something. And close down the eyes. And just make sure that there's nothing that's uncomfortable. Make sure that the neck has got lots of space. That the shoulders are drawn down and away from the ears. Make sure that if you're on a blanket, that it's not in the lower back, that it's definitely under the bottom. And then find that ujjayi breath, that oceanic sound. Long breaths in. Sweet breaths out. And then a lovely meditation practice to go along with that breath is with the eyes closed to actually picture the sea, picture the ocean. So as we inhale, we see the waves recede, draw back into the ocean. And as we exhale, we feel the waves rush towards us, climbing their way up the beach. And then inhale as the waves draw away. And exhale, they come rushing back. And so giving a mental image to the breath work. And what this effectively does is gives our mind a single point of focus. And there is every chance that you will get distracted by your thoughts again and again and again, because we're humans and that's what our brains do. But draw yourself back. Reconnect with the breath. Reconnect with that ocean as it moves in and out. Get that visualization going in your mind. And this is a really easy entry sort of point to meditation. And slowly bend the knees, bring them in, give yourself a little hug. I'm going to take the hands to the insteps of the feet or onto your calf muscles. Gently draw the knees in, happy baby pose, little rock side to side. And then release the feet down. And we're going to come on up. Beautiful. So thank you for joining me.